Morning, everybody. My name is Charles Avens, and I head up the Druces Employment and Immigration Department. And I'm going to talk to you today very much and give you a canter through UK immigration. I've produced very detailed slides, and hopefully you have those in your packs. I'm not going to go through at least one part of all the different tiers, but if you have any questions once you've read them, please come and see me. I clash quite a bit with Rob with his advice, because naturally, as a tax lawyer, he spends his entire time telling all of you to remain outside the UK as much as possible. As an immigration lawyer, my job is to make sure that you remain in the UK as much as possible in order to comply with the legislation. So, moving into the slides. So, Tier 1. There are only a few routes into the UK. I think it's a bit of a misunderstanding. I think people think there's lots of routes into the UK. There are not. The Tier 1 is probably one of the most famous, of course. It's, we've certainly seen it recently in the press related to investor visas. It's made up of three areas. First and foremost is the exceptional talent visa. Why do I mention this? Well, the exceptional talent visa at the moment, it used to be a very difficult visa to get. You have to be seen as somebody who's a recognised leader in your field or an emerging leader in your field. But one of the things which has really kind of revolutionised it is because of digital technology. So if you're running a company outside the UK and you want to come into the UK, rather than coming through the investor visa route or the entrepreneur visa route, you can come onto the Tier 1 exceptional talent visa route in relation to digital technology. And the government in November 2017 decided that because we were getting so many applications and relating to digital technology, they decided to increase the number of visas. So it's gone from 1,000 to 2,000. So clearly they're really looking at wanting to bring people in relation to digital technology and coming in on that visa. Because before it was normally very much reserved for people who were worldwide in humanities, science, actors, people who were seen as leading lights in their field to use that. And it was a difficult visa to get. But now with the advent of the digital technology part of it, we are seeing more people wanting to do that. And that, of course, comes through the Tech Nation, which is the tech hub up at the Old Street roundabout. Moving forward into, of course, the investor visa. Now, you've probably, of course, recently heard lots about the investor visa and about renewal of investor visas with certain very, very wealthy people, or non-renewal of those investor visas. This is nothing new. I think one of the things which I find a little bit annoying is that the government, when they decided to think up the investor visa in 2008, one of the criteria for it, they didn't actually ask people to explain the origin of their money. And so when there was something called the MAC report in 2014, when they reviewed the investor visa, finally they decided to say, well, actually, there's a little bit of a flaw there. Would you actually need to know where people's money's coming from? So those people who effectively applied before the MAC report findings and rulings came through, when it came to the renewal of the visa halfway through, found themselves in a situation where when they reapplied for the investor visa, the UK government said, well, okay, we better tell us where your money's coming from. And that's caused a few problems. People have been a little bit nervous, about, oh, I didn't have to do that before, but I now need to tell them. And the government are cracking down. They are actually really, and you've seen high-profile people, not having their visas reviewed. I mean, we don't know the reasons why, but the reality is this is something potentially which has come about because of these new rules. Now, the investor visa is basically a way of getting into the country by paying a large amount of money. Simple as that. £2 million, £5 million, £10 million, and it's into UK government bonds, share capital, loan capital, and active in trading UK registered companies. As long as your money remains here, invested here, then you can work, you can study, you can live here, you can bring your family over, no problem at all. You don't have to explain what you're doing, and you basically use it as an anchor for 5 years, and then you can apply for indefinite leave to remain, or UK equivalent of a green card, to stay here, and then after that, of course, a year after that, you can apply for British citizenship. So it is still very much a visa which we see a lot of people wanting to use. It's a great way of getting into the UK and bringing families into the UK. And it's an easier route than the next route, which I'm going to just jump onto, is of course the entrepreneur visa. Now, the entrepreneur visa is not an easy visa. I think it's a bit of a misunderstanding. It's less expensive because you only have to invest 200,000, but you have to actively run a business in the UK. It's not about getting someone else to do it, you have to do it. And ultimately, the one thing which really, really defines with the entrepreneur visa is the genuine entrepreneur test. Now, that is about putting together a very, very detailed business plan, and the entrepreneur applying are really genuinely knowing that business plan and being able to answer detailed questions in an interview with the Home Office. Please don't do what one of my colleagues, very senior colleagues, had a client, spent a very large amount of time working on his application, put the whole thing together, went for the interview at the Home Office, and the Home Office officer, who they're all known for their sense of humour, sat down and said, well, take me through your plan, and he turned around and said, well, I don't know, you've had it, haven't you read it? As you can imagine, that was a very, very short interview, and funny enough, he didn't get his visa. So please, if you are going to be wanting to come through the entrepreneurial visa, it's a fantastic route. If you've got a really fantastic business idea, and you want to set up in the UK, it is a great route to come through. But be under no illusion, it's tough, and the Home Office is really cracking down because people have used it in the past as a kind of easier way to get in. So please don't be in any way, shape or form under any illusions. It's quite hard. Right, Tier 2. Now, why ask about Tier 2? Tier 2, if you are over here in the UK running a UK business and you wish to bring in skilled migrants from outside the EU into the UK, you use the Tier 2 route. The Tier 2 route is made up of two areas, the general Tier 2 and the intercompany transfer. Okay? Now, you've probably read recently in the, certainly in the Evening Standard, there's been a lot of the press about the general Tier 2. And you'll see that I've written on here, the applicant paid a minimum salary of 30,000 a year. Let me be clear, there are 20,700 visas issued a year, okay? Every single month there is a ballot. If you're not earning £159,600, you are in what we call the restricted category, which means you have to go into this ballot in order to effectively see whether or not you will be given a visa once your company has given you literally a sponsorship certificate. What we are finding is that anybody who is earning under 60,000, so anybody if you're bringing in an employee into the UK and you think, well, I'm only going to pay 30,000 a year, forget it. Don't bother applying. You won't get a visa. We're finding that ultimately the government are taking it from under the 159,600 and they're going down like that. So ultimately, the lowest it's come to is about 60,000. Under that, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, your employee is not going to get the visa, and I think it's something at the moment which is causing a big problem because, as you can see, especially in NHS and things, they're saying that it's causing a skills shortage because people don't have to pay that level of salary. But again, it's doing what the government wants, which is to effectively what they consider to control immigration and be seen to be tough on immigration and only try and bring in the best. So please, think about that very carefully. The general Tier 2 visa is a great visa because it does actually lead to settlement. You can stay after 5 years. Once you've done your 5 years, you can then hopefully get indefinite leave to remain, and then of course apply for a British passport, which is not the case with the next visa, which is the intra-company transfer. So please, you have to be very careful. I've seen too many of these things where people make mistakes about which visa they bring their employees in on. If you have a company outside the UK and you want to bring them in here, it's a much easier route to bring them under the ICT because you don't have to advertise the role. You don't have to show to the UK Home Office that there are British people who can do the job. Whereas on the ICT, you do have to do that on the general tier. So the general tier for Tier 2 visa is much harder to get. But the ICT is easier, but it does not lead to the person ever remaining. The maximum amount of time if they're earning under 120,000 a year is only 5 years and 1 month. They have to return to their country of origin, okay? Which is, as I said, not the case with the general Tier 2. As you can see, there's also a paid minimum salary of 41,500, so they have to be paid that as a minimum on the ICT. Okay, and also, of course, they have to have been working for the company for a minimum of 12 months, unless they're earning going to be earning £73,900 when they come into the UK. Okay. Sole representative of an overseas company, fantastic visa, absolutely love it. It's not one that loads of people know about, really, because it's outside the tiers. But if you are running a company outside the UK and you wish to set up a branch over here and send over one of your senior employees into the UK, this is the visa that you want to be using. It's a lot faster and quicker than the entrepreneur visa, and as long as you've got an established business, and as long as you, the person coming over, is not the owner or the majority shareholder of the company, then you can send over your CFO or whoever it may be, COO, to come over to act as the managing director and set up your UK branch. And he can bring over his family, and it can lead to settlement. So this is a great visa. It's funny because when I speak to clients, a lot of clients don't know about this visa. They're unaware of this visa. So if you're interested in branching out into the UK from abroad, but you yourself are not going to be coming, but one of your senior employees is, this is the one that you need to be looking at. Okay? Brexit. I'm just going to say on this, quite honest, the government don't have a clue, because we don't have a clue as the immigration lawyers really what is going to be happening ultimately when we get to next year. What I am seeing is that a lot of people, a lot of Europeans are coming to me and wanting me to effectively sort out their position, their residence position in the UK, and I think it's a really, really, really good idea. The key is that you need to have been employed, self-employed, self-sufficient, or studying in the UK for at least the last 5 years, and then we can organise sorting out getting you an EEA permanent residence card in order to protect your position, depending on what happens in the future. But at the moment, it's still very unclear as to what is going to be happening. Okay. We're going to have to watch this space. I have a feeling that they're going to put forward some special European visa for Europeans after all of this, which will make it easier for them to come into the UK. I really do, because I think it's going to be disastrous if they don't. My final one. Now, if there's anybody who's South African in the audience, this one is one you really, really need to be looking at. One of our judges, back in March, Lord Justice Sumption, decided to reverse a complete bit of inequality. If you are a South African born between the 31st of May 1962 and the 1st of January 1983, and your maternal grandfather, your mother's father, was born in the UK, you may have a right to apply for a British passport right now. Okay? That's not a visa, that's a British passport. I have an enormous amount of people who are interested in this. This is fantastic news for South Africans. It was never allowed before. It was always the case that ultimately only fathers could register their child between those dates at the consulate. God knows why, but the fact is women were not allowed to. So Lord Justice Sumption said, absolutely not, can't have that inequality. We're going to reverse that decision. So if you are South African and you fit these criteria, come and have a word on the chat with me, because there might be a chance of being able to apply for a British passport. Okay? If anybody has any questions, saying to Robert, either to myself or Rob, then please do ask away.
Yeah, we've got time